Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, Deepakji. I'm very excited that you joined us also at the Pro Partner Summit. We're getting, the top 3% of Veeam's partner at this venue, and we are going to talk about all the things that Veeam does differently. To your question on Veeam strategy around zero data loss, today everyone is concerned about data. Right? Data is the oil of the economy, and every organization needs to protect data, which is the most important assets for any company. And we believe that no critical asset or data should be lost by any organization. And the reason being simple, if data is gone, your business operations come to a standstill, and you can face some serious consequences to your business due to loss of data. What we believe in as an organization is, we are committed as a number one company in data protection and data resiliency. We are committed to make sure that customers don't lose data at all. Even if there is a cyber attack, we want to give our customers the ability to recover the data wherever they would want to, which means ensuring that there is zero data loss for the customer. And our entire strategy around preventing zero data loss is built around driving data resilience, and it rests on 5 key pillars. So data protection is definitely one key pillar that every organization has been investing into. Next, we go to data recovery, the ability to recover information at the click of a button, or making sure that the operations of recovery is very fast, smooth and error free. The third big pillar of data resiliency is data security. Now, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We align very closely with the zero trust architecture and make sure that all the capabilities around the security posture of organizations are supporting the ability to recover or create an immutable copy of data. So that's what we talk about when we say data security. The fourth and a very important pillar of data resilience is data portability. And what I mean by that is it's a very simple concept actually. When there is a ransomware attack, and we know 75% of organizations have faced a ransomware attack in the previous 12 months. So when there is a ransomware attack and customer would want to recover from the immutable copy, just think about a scenario where the entire data center is down. Where do we recover in that case? There the customer needs choice to be able to recover, maybe not on this site, but maybe to a hosted site in some other premise, or maybe even to an hyperscaler. So this is what exactly is meant by data portability, and Veeam enables data portability there. No conversation today ends without artificial intelligence. Okay, and we believe that it's very key in terms of supporting a modern data protection platform. Okay, so we have infused AI, and our strategy works around AI to assist in proactive detection of malware, and also the ability to recover from ransomware attacks. We call it as one-click recovery, which is basically smoothing the process of recovery from a ransomware attack, and even to an extent of ensuring that there is no reinfection of data at the time of recovery. So all of these put together is the overarching data resiliency approach that we have to enable zero data loss. Data resiliency in a box. Yes, a very important question, and this is very practical use case that any customer would want to really work on, because at the time of recovery, customers don't want to reinfect the main data. 56% of customers actually fear reinfection of data at the time of recovery. What is Veeam's approach in that case? We create for customers a sandbox environment which is isolated from the production, and where the latest clean copy, immutable copy of backup can be recovered and can be tested for any evidences or traces of malware. There are ways and means where we can even look at or inline entropy. This is part of the AI that we have infused as part of the Veeam data platform, but the ability to create an isolated environment where customers can be 100% confident that it's a clean copy that has been restored is a big capability that any customer can have when it comes to recovery of data. There are lots, by the way, Deepak ji. So, we have thousands of customers in India. Worldwide, Veeam has more than 450,000 customers. Okay, a large number of enterprises have deployed Veeam. I can even name a few. Like Mahindra and Mahindra, for example. It's a group that was using an alternate, backup solution, and it's a reference customer, by the way. So, the biggest challenge they were facing was the time to recovery. Okay, and that's when we approached them. We built a complete architecture for them to protect not just traditional workloads, which is the physical machines, but also virtual machines. And then we went on to protect their Kubernetes as well as the cloud workloads. But the big difference that we made for M&M is we have improved their recovery window by 50%. And at the same time, the cost of ownership for them has come down significantly. Because Veeam's approach is completely hardware agnostic. We are a software defined solutions company. So we don't restrict Mahindra and Mahindra to use any specific hardware. They are free to go for the best of breed that they want to, and that has actually brought down their cost significantly. There are similar examples at Hero MotoCorp, which is again a reference customer. Granules, for example, a leading pharmaceutical bulk drugs manufacturing company, is a reference customer for us again. Amity University is a reference customer. So a whole you'll find there. Yeah, so you have touched upon one of the biggest pain points today that any enterprise customer is really dealing with. So the path from a big hypervisor to an alternate hypervisor, whether we look at VMware to an XYZ or an XYZ to ABC, is not going to be easy. There are so many different variables that come into play when you actually migrate these workloads from hypervisor A to hypervisor B. Veeam is actually uniquely placed in this entire space to help our customers do this migration. In fact, we have helped so many customers to prevent not just vendor lock-in when it comes to hypervisor support, but also help customers to secure themselves against cloud lock-in. So if you look at our support metrics on where can we restore, let's say, a VMware machine, we can restore a VMware machine to a cloud. It can be an Hyper-V, and we can say in a similar way we could restore a machine, a virtual machine to a physical server to cloud, and so on. So it's a very comprehensive, I would say, matrix of hypervisors protect and restore that we support for our customers, and it becomes extremely seamless. To your point, how difficult it is just at a click of a few buttons. You don't really need some great expertise and technical knowledge to really do this restore activity. And the reason being that we protect a copy of virtual machine in a Veeam format, which is universally restorable. So we protect a VM in a VDK file, and we simply kind of move that to let's say Hyper-V or any other hypervisor. I see increasing participation of CISOs in the decision making around data protection. If we look at a few years back, these were two siloed functions within IT. CISO organization was always thinking about the attack surface, whereas the infrastructure team was actually talking about data protection and resiliency. And I see an increasing collaboration between the two teams, although there is still a gap. And this is one thing that I would really encourage this community to bridge, the CISO and the CIO, CTO community to bridge, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The CISO organizations need to exactly understand, what are the capabilities that the data protection platform is going to deliver. Okay, whether it can work or operate or have API interconnects with the security posture and the software they are using. Whether it subscribes to the zero trust architecture. Okay, all of these aspects are very important when it comes to decision making around the data protection strategy. Second very important thing is around compliance and reporting. CISO organizations are quite responsible and accountable for compliances, particularly if there is a breach. The first person that any company is going to ask about is the CISO organization, right? And it's no longer an IT requirement; it's a boardroom requirement. It's a boardroom discussion for ensuring that the data resiliency strategy is in place and the requirements are met. And last but not the least, the CISO organizations today also understands that even the cloud workloads need protection. There has been in general, a misunderstanding or perhaps an inadequate understanding that once we put data on cloud, it doesn't need backup. But if you follow some of the recent incidences and the kind what we see or read out there, workloads on cloud or SaaS workloads absolutely need data protection. And in fact, you talk to a Microsoft or AWS, they are going to recommend to you that M365 has to be protected, AWS workloads have to be protected. Now, whether customers protect it with the native, capabilities or with a third party is something that is left to the customer depending on what they really want to achieve. But data protection is a very important requirement for any cloud or SaaS workloads.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we recently brought in investors, and Veeam is perhaps the most valuable data resiliency company at $15 billion.
Yes.
Our revenues is $1.7 billion of ARR worldwide. If you compare that with some of our nearer competition, like, look at Commvault or Rubrik and, perhaps even Cohesity Veritas. I mean, we are far ahead when it comes to the revenues that we are able to drive as an organization. So, two very important things. One, data resiliency as I would say a requirement or a strategy is very well acknowledged, and today customers are looking at data resiliency as perhaps the most important initiative to be invested in. You look at some recent IDC report, and I can share the copy with you. It talks about 36% of the IT budgets is expected to go into cyber resiliency, with cyber protection against cyber threats and recovery. Okay, so we are actually the number one player in this market, and we are uniquely positioned because we have great partnerships worldwide. We're growing at over 18%, and we are well above the rule of 40. So that makes Veeam a very valuable company. We are number one by IDC. We are number one by Gartner as well. So many years in a row. So. That keeps us uniquely differentiated, and we have no hardware agenda whatsoever. If you look at rest of the companies, they are pushing customers towards a more rigid framework of appliances, whereas Veeam believes in giving customers freedom of choice. I'll quickly talk about going beyond just business and data resiliency, looking at a bigger purpose. So as the number one company in data resiliency, not just worldwide, but IDC recognizes Veeam as number one data resiliency company in India as well. So we have taken this initiative to every corner of the country, and we are committed to Viksit Bharat campaign of the government of India, the initiative by the government, and we have launched a Veeam Cyber Suraksha campaign. Okay. And what we mean by that is, we have taken several initiatives, just to talk about a few things like, of course, Make in India is one very important thing that we are doing. Have more than 200 seats of operations coming out of Bangalore, investing in R&D there, so India is a very important and strategic hub for me. That is number one. Number two, we have activations with several universities and colleges, wherein Veeam, data resiliency, not Veeam, I would say, more generic subject of data resiliency is introduced as curriculum for tech graduates, undergrads, as well as management graduates, because it's such an important aspect, for any business or tech person to know. We have activated more than 1,000 plus scholarships by partnering with Women in Cloud. We are publishing white papers, in collaboration and taking cues and help from DPDP Act, helping organizations to understand or simplify compliance to DPDP Act, and even recommendations from CERTIN. We are championing the cause of 32110, best practice which makes sure that a immutable copy is always available when a cyber attack happens. So that helps, that ensures guaranteed recovery. And last but not the least, Deepakji, we are working closely with certain government, bodies to make sure that the industry is more aware about data resiliency and the best practices around data resiliency. Because if we are able to protect our data, we protect our business, and that's how we make Bharat more Suraksha.